Back during the struggle, one time I said, yo, thank you, Mwele.
Oh, good. You see, this phone is...
Sabally City Kong.
So saying,
City Kong.
long as I'm gonna try and answer now. Even I did. The Iron Lady of the struggle.
Bari Yunus bilingan ninja terong ke Yunus will have it. And you did. Pongka he yalon ke ngandal balla nyung ko de bari ngaje live terong ko pongana. Yo vela device wala simple lakini.
Sungkonga sariane ad but malaya jena.
Okay.
So Bila and then a conversation or miss. I wasn't able to hear what you guys were saying.
And just to summarize what I said, ngamin po dorong wala muko. Back during the struggle, one time I said politics is about lies and deceitfulness, and you know, yes, it was hard to hear that Sabally did this, but Sabally nata UDP now nyaming bota UDP wala nyama. Katunia de Sabally nata UDP Jana Commission bidding Adama Baromang Kulkai wotumole I mol be a part in party, so that was his way of getting back at Adama. I think one of the things I admire about him is that Nia Kurosi, Ngamra Sabali in UDP, Adama do I say no matter how much you want to leave, Ngamra UDP and Minka Sabali, Sabali Panay Wolom Bakele. So Nia Kurosi, I'm on to UDP, and I don't see Sabali going after UDP. I don't see him getting on a platform ka UDP doya ke neng kai menke barola because Mr. Dabo Fonga aning Sabali tema kujama le dunte tema horomo kono to the point where you know I don't think Sabali would go out and insult UDP. He wouldn't dare. So that is my thing. I don't think he will do it. But I think people need to realize that this is politics, especially in Africa. This is how politics in Africa Ntola kasi janka foro ya ku for all you know kariman ke foroti this is you know this person is a hypocrite, this person is deceitful, blah blah blah. For them this is very normal. This has happened since the Jawara days, you know. You know, you and I come from the PP Jawara's PPP. So this, you know, you ask your uncles, they will tell you. My uncle was the Minister of External Affairs. Well, two more people jump ship like crazy, you know. So it's just one of those things. We just have to. It is what it is.
I think people. For me, I think going forward, for Momodou Sabally, I think UDP is pretty vulnerable to him. UDP, I can say to some extent, if they know how to play their cards right, UDP is on the Sabally's mercy at this point. This is what I believe. For Dabo, he will always show that gratitude, that respect, and all that. He'll always show that to Dabo, but that wouldn't stop him trying to bring UDP supporters into NPP, because that's his assignment. That's what Barrow wanted him for. Barrow wants him on his side so that he won't criticize them as he's been doing. But he also knows that he has this bit of, he's very outspoken, and he knows how to appeal to certain section of society and bring them. He can use that. Now he has the president already. The incumbent on his own is like a very powerful source of influence, and Sabally can use. Well, I'm not going to give him any ideas, because anything that I'm saying here, I'm giving him ideas. But I know he is pretty vulnerable when it comes to Sabally. They got Sabally and make him like a national brand. Sabally has a lot of relationships within the UDP, and now what he will do is to try and maintain those relationships as long as possible and as cordial as possible, and that's what will work for him. He will always give Dabo that respect, and people should not fall for that. That is just his trick to show that
his mojo.
Yeah, and he can always say that and he still showed that have that kind of soft spot for Yahya Jammeh. Despite everything that Yahya Jammeh have done to people, Sabally still would not call Yahya Jammeh out and tell and hold him accountable.
Nope. I never heard it. And speaking of Yahya Jammeh, one of the things that, you know, the Gambian politicians can do whatever they want, but for me, people think I hate Barrow. I don't hate Barrow. I hate what he does. That's one thing. The other thing also is anybody who collaces with APRC, for me, I see that as if I were to go and support that individual, I'm going to see myself as supporting the legacy of Yahya Jammeh, a person that I fought for decades, because we started this fight on Gambia L, and Syrian was there when it was just the emails. So for me, that's why I think we all have our principles and values. And when it comes to some people, they may not have the same principles and values that we have. We may not like it. We may be angry. We may be disgusted. But we cannot dictate what people do, because I hear the rumors that Rahi may go. Everybody knows how much I love Rahi. But if Rahi goes to Adama Barrow, and if she joins NPP and joins camp with him, then I cannot support Rahi anymore, because again, my values and principles wouldn't allow me. One of the things that Rahi is in a very, very tough spot. Rahi is in Banjo. And I think a lot of development projects Rahi has, what Rahi runs into is, if the president ignores her, it really puts a damper on the things she's trying to achieve during her current term. So she's in a catch-22. She's a UDP person, and if they see her with the bus driver, oh my God, especially I saw that in the bus, everybody, oh my God. So people need to realize, until Rahi leaves UDP, we need to understand that in her position as the mayor of Banjul, she has to have a relationship with the president. She has to have a cordial relationship with him. And Rahi, to be honest with you, has been consistent. Remember when she came to the UDP event in Seattle? Rahi actually called Barrow her brother, and people like booed her, but she continued praising him, even though Barrow was giving her a hard time with her projects. So I think people need to understand that is her maturity. Now, if she goes, that would be disastrous, because people like me, I love Rahi, but I will be able to support her as the mayor, but I will not be able to support her as a politician.
So can I ask you a question? You brought Rohit Malik Law up. So I've seen two things that happened recently that kind of confused me. She won a RAFA something recognition a while ago.
Rafaela.
She took that that recognition and award to Lawyer Dabo, I think. But this time she went to the president. I don't know if there is a different, I don't know the rationale behind that. She's my good sister. This is something that I could maybe just pick up a phone and speak to her about. But I just want to let her do her thing.
I think until Rahi leaves UDP and goes to Barrow, one of the things, unless there's more to it than all of us know, because what people that were paying attention did see that 2 weeks prior to Sabally, when people did see Sabally, they kind of suspected he was going to go. For me, when it comes to Rahi, I have a very soft spot for her. I think when it comes to Rahi has to play this game of, and it's not a game, but she has to play this system. She, like I said, is a mayor. She won an award, and the president happens to be at Mankunda. She went there to share it. Anytime she speaks at a podium, every time I've seen Rohi speak publicly, I don't know if even when Barrow was sabotaging her candidacy, she was like, President Mimal Lasanil, I laughed my head off. I'm like, this woman is smart, because she, even though the president was really mean to her, she decided to be nice to him. So I don't think that happened when she was running on the UDP ticket. I think we need to cut her some slack until she does otherwise. But I think with Gambians, now that Sabally has gone, everyone cut her some slack. She's your sister. She's your candidate. She's your mayor. Wait until she goes to Barrow, and then you can say, oh my God, she's gone too. And then you can deal with it there. But right now, Rahi is a woman. And us women, personally, when people do it to us. Anyway, I'll stop so that Syrian can come
in. All right. Am I on mute? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right, good. No, that's good. I mean, the fact that, as Tukulor said, I don't think working with Barrow is a bad thing. I really, as a local government, I really, even the people that you serve, they are the sole losers. So I mean, people have their own interpret. I think Rohi is a very savvy politician, and with everything that was being thrown at her, the money, everything, she pulled her win. When everybody thought she was vulnerable, she was going down, but she won. So I think when it comes to local politics, I really don't think the party should dictate who that particular person, who she associated or he associated with. They need to let them play, because ultimately, I think the young man that kind of defeated Usman Silla, took the position from him, Banjul North. I mean, she was mentored and recruited by Rohi. So I mean, so it's not gonna be a win-win for us. If you want this, you have to let the politics play out. And until, as Tukulor says, she's my good sister. I talk to her frequently, and I haven't talked to her for probably 2 months now. But I am not going to dictate or ask her motives. I think she's very mature in her own political upbringing, and I think she knows very well what she's doing. So unless and until she stood there and said, "Now I am MPP," I will I just play it, because I mean, it's not bad to work with Barrow. It's not. I mean, ultimately, what you want is you want that benefit to come to your folks who voted for you. She cannot do it alone, and I think that's what I would love to see Talib Bensouda do. I love Yankuba to do, because ultimately, I mean, it's not you. It's the people that you serve. So unless and until Rohit, that's where I'm at too.
But he got a message from the last local government election that Banjul may be drifting towards NPP because majority of councillors were Barrow, and even I think at some point she may feel like she wouldn't have won the elections. So I don't know, but she's made it clear that she wouldn't be running for another term as a mayor. So I think maybe certain signals that she may be getting now to say that, okay, if maybe perhaps if her ambition was to lead UDP into the next presidential elections, she may a job for other assignment that the president may give her. But these are all situations. Rohi, she's demonstrated loyalty in the past, and but at this point, the UDP party is at a very crucial stage, and the party is demoralized.
I think they are demoralized. I think
the party needs somehow a clear direction. A clear direction for the party and a new engagement to energize. But what happened into MPP is a big blow to the morale of the topic in the country for a couple of days now, and we're still talking about it. So it's relevant. From what I've believed, Sabally high stature in the party and in the country, and during this time, Sabally has made a lot of connections on the grassroots and stuff. So now he's with the incumbent. There is a lot of money at his disposal. He has. You see, what actually makes me sad is I've seen people within the UDP actually trying to find excuse for Sabally for what he's done. Say that things are hard on him and he's not having a job, and he has a ban that he cannot hold any office. But I thought this was a challenge for Sabally, because Sabally, what we see, we don't see someone who is struggling for no reason. What we see is stuff. So to me, that's not a spectacle of someone who is struggling financially. I think UDP has been very generous to Sabally. The party support base are providing him with money all the time, and he's got a car, and so even after his arrest, the people gotten that money to at least set up a small business for himself. An example to the youths of the Gambia to say, even if I'm being treated unfairly, the state machinery are at least 5 to 10 times higher than average salary of the average Gambian. He could build himself that way to inspire the youth and to discourage the perception that the quick getaway politics is like the quick gratification, and build something for the future, something that people can look at and be proud of you. But the country, and rather than being sympathetic and fighting for their cause, you are using you're seeing luxury in the midst of mass suffering. And this is what happened. The youths are dying in the back way. Sabally is talking about these things. He made himself that he is the perfect person to fight for the youth, to make sure the government, whom he class as Keren Kafo, will stop the looting of the money and invest it on the citizens, provide healthcare. He talks about infant maternal mortality that is happening in the country. So the people who are depriving the country, the citizens, of these things, you are now with those, and instantly we are seeing you benefiting from it. And now, around our politicians, it's mind-boggling. People don't trust politicians. People think they lie to them and they're only for themselves. And this is just an example. It's feeding to that narrative. It's feeding to that perception, rather than him using his influence that was afforded to him to set up a new example for the people, to make them believe in themselves against all odds. If you believe in yourself, you can. And he had that influence. If Sabally have a little shop, a corner shop, I'll tell you, people will come from Basse, Farafenni, and they will rather come to that little shop to buy from Sabally. So this is the issue. People want quick way of getting rich, and the best way to get quick riches is joining politics, and it's unfortunate because you are making money, a life of luxury, of the back of people, some of the world's most vulnerable people. For me, I've always had my reservation on Sabally. I had my suspicion of him. I knew he wasn't sincere. I knew he wasn't genuine in what he's saying. But people turn a blind eye to it. I set up tests for him just to prove me wrong. Talk about, if you're going to talk about truth, also talk about the truth of the past, things that have happened in the past, that people have lost their lives. The TRRC was there. He was actually attacking the TRRC. You cannot tell me that you believe in justice and accountability, and rather than supporting the cause of the victims, you are attacking it and trying to discredit this. So it wasn't a genuine endeavor, but he succeeded. And now we are all at his mercy. The UDP and myself and all that are on his mercy. And what Sabally is good at, Sabally is good at switching his state of mind. From this point, he'll be quiet because he's going through, putting himself through transition. He is switching his belief in UDP and switching it to his belief in the new party. And he will try to do that through a process called auto-suggestion. This is administering self-stimuli, self-administered stimuli to influence your subconsciousness. He will be doing that. And doing that, even especially in a spiritual way, is even quicker. He'll use the Quran. He'll go into the verses. He'll focus on verses that will tell him that what he's done is the right thing. So he'll look for reasons constantly. Other people will give him reasons why he should not have joined UDP, why he should not be UDP, and why it's best for him to be in the NPP. So he will continue to make himself. And the subconsciousness it doesn't discriminate about what it only receives what you give it. If you tell yourself a lie continuously, you tell yourself a lie, you know it's a lie, and you keep telling yourself, your mind will eventually register it as the truth. And when he gets to that point, to know that everything that he's taking is actually true, as his mind will eventually adapt to, that's where you will see the Sabally in NPP, and that's where UDP should be worried. So right now we need a UDP to step up. The executive, they should come up with a clear direction and promote the good spirit, raise the morale, raise the spirit of the party, give us hope, make us believe that the best days are ahead of us. And I think they should find the reason why that is true. But they cannot keep us in limbo, knowing that we have seen people leaving the party, and there's suspicion amongst people that other people will be following him as well. I know one thing that he's done. People who wanted to do this and were kind of self-doubting themselves or are kind of reluctant, he has now given them the courage to do it. So I'm not going to say point fingers at people to say they'll be going. As long as you've not declared it, as long as you still stand to promote the party's objective, the party's vision, we should treat you as a genuine member. But we should give people a reason why they must support UDP. We should give people reason why UDP is the best party in that country. And I've made I don't just criticize actually I've made suggestions to the UDP executive. I said you guys should set up an ethics committee within the party within the executive, have an ethic committee that would also consult with the elderly folks of the party, and all decisions, all major activities of the party has to go through this ethic committee, who will now evaluate the moral question of it, and understand exactly why these activities are complete alignment with the party's interest and the country's interest, and give its approval. Anything that is not sanctioned by the ethic committee should not happen. And this is, if we don't have this, we have like a conscious effort in evaluating things that we do, we will be sticking up with things. And the UDP from the 2016, things have happened that are contrary to what the parties claim to stand for, and this should be avoided, because then it makes it difficult for people who now have to face questions, who now have to sell the UDP. Because if you say anything about the party, people will bring something that the party has said or done in the past that is contrary to this. And I think that's one of the committee would be good, with clear guideline about some of the things that how they should examine the moral questions of what the party does. Obviously, with respect for the elderly people who are still in the party, we can engage with these people, consult with them, and approve some of the major activities that the party does.
Yeah. So, Dr. Yunus, thank you very much.
No.
So now I think you hit very, very important point. So as I said, if you look at the party structure, UDP as a political party, it's not perfect. That imperfection, I think there should be lessons, and those lessons learned should be applied, right? But
and accountable and taking advantage of the poor people. This is why I was saying, when the parliament were taking